Okay, we're going to be starting with chapter 2 today. If I can drag the right things around, we'll see. Okay. Chapter 2. Make that purple so it's pretty. Yep. Unholy. We haven't even started yet. Welcome. Alright. There we go. From the beginning, please. Chapter 2. Stephen. Ah, shit. Signs. Lots of them. I adjusted the hoodie. Only because I didn't go to work. Aw. Why? What caused the leave of absence? Some of them. I adjusted the hoodie as soon as I exited my vehicle. Thank God I'd parked near the back entrance. There was a huge group of people in the parking lot near the main set of doors, all shouting and waving homemade and very colorful signs. Thank you for the roses. Full signs. Given there were two distinct sides regarding the existence of shifters, they were screaming at each other. Werewolves are people too! Fuck that! Werewolves are nothing but animals who deserve to be in a zoo. No! They deserve to be hunted and killed! The sharp cries were nothing in comparison to the penmanship and art on the makeshift signs. Wolves, the next dark meat. My fucking God. Most of the time, I was easily able to ignore both the protesters and supporters. Unless they wanted an autograph from Stephen Masters, the talented hockey player, I wasn't interested. But today, I was floored by the level of anger driven into half the people. The truck broke down. Boo. Yeah, I haven't been streaming much. I took a week off, slowing my narration down. What's up, Live Oak Spiritual? Welcome. Of the people. Werewolves have rights. Hunt and kill them. Werewolves eat our children. My stomach churned, and I took a single, long stride toward them. After what I'd witnessed Saint going through and the lies told, I'd been left incensed and angry. I'd worked very hard to shove aside my ill feelings for some humans, but a day like today and the horrible things being said made it very difficult. I had no doubt the hate had been fueled by my supposed bombshell proving the haters right. No way in hell would I ever betray my brother. Tyler had been right in that the teaser had been one of 4 that had been dropped about the huge guest appearance so far. I dreaded to see if there was another one, but there was a long time. I said it right. Shit. Well, I'm happy to have you here, Unholy. You know that. If there was another one. Let's see. If there was another one. But there was a long time before now and Friday. A blip on my phone caught my attention. For some stupid reason, I turned on social media notification. Yeah, said it right. Sounds weird, though. Vacation. Right after Tyler had shared the god-awful news, my phone had started to blow up, not only with notifications on every social media page, but also calls from unknown numbers. I knew what that meant. Reporters were ready to hound me like a fucking dog. I backed away before the crowd could see me. The last thing I needed was to get in the middle of a melee. A blip out of the corner of my eye caught my attention. Jesus, this was going to be a very long day. A news van from Channel 9 had rounded the corner. Oh, hell no. With my head down, I tried to act nonchalant as I headed toward the I didn't say the line right, fuck! Oh, hell no. With my head down. Fuck, we'll do it again. I'll do it. Oh my god. I'm gonna blush, guys. My narration crush is here. Shit. Hell no. I'm gonna get all tongue-tied. Hell no. Hell no. Alright, let's fucking rock some of this. Oh, hell no. Hell no. With my head down, I tried to act nonchalant as I headed for the rear door. I'd be damned if I hadn't accidentally turned my ringer up high. Stopping short, I could tell by the sudden silence I'd also caught the attention of the crowd. Very slowly, I tipped my head over my shoulder. When I did, my hoodie popped off my head. That's the beast! Oh, that's a lady, fuck. Maybe it's a lady with a deep-ass voice. Off my head. That's the beast! The shrill woman's scream was all the others needed to take off running in my direction. What the goddamn fuck? With at least 100 people running in my direction, I found myself frozen on the spot. Now, some of the signs were being held like weapons, as if at least half the people were going to tear me apart limb from limb. This was insane. These were decent, hard-working people, yet here they came, all because I'd given them fodder for their devotion. Both good and bad. I was at the outside door in a flash, groaning when I found it locked. Oh no. I could rip it open. With no effort, I could yank the door off the hinges and toss it by 300 feet. 300 feet. 300 feet. Footsies. Scroll, dude. Come on. 300 feet. But what would that solve, other than putting even more fear of God into them? Beast! 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 There. Fuck. Beast. Then there was the thought of what my rabid fans would do if they caught up with me. Nah, being a superstar wasn't on my bingo card. I pounded on the door, praying one of the security guards could hear me. The crowd was getting closer, even running over each other to get to me first. Wait a minute. Were they chanting kill? Oh, fuck me. This was getting out of hand. Getting up. 3D printers, do your things, please. Very nice, I like. Getting out of hand. Oh, yes. Getting out of hand. I pounded again. Jerry, you better be there. They were close. Way too close. Holy shit. My body hummed, tingles of electricity tickling every synapse. Oh, this wasn't good. Not even a little bit. If I wasn't careful. Bam, bam, bam. Jerry! My yell was strangled as fuck, my skin now itching, which was exactly what happened mere seconds before I shifted. Beast, I love you! I want to have your children! The woman's scream brought an angry wave of jealousy. Now, people were pushing and shoving to get to me first. Let's see. Now, people were fucking say the words, dude. Say the frickin' words. Let's see. Now, let's see. Now, people were pushing and shoving to get to me first. The odds weren't looking in my favor. If I shifted, I could kiss my motherfucking career goodbye. I tried. I really did try not to shift. I was squeezing my muscles, trying to think of anything else that might prevent me from the transition, but it was becoming a losing battle. What the fuck is all the commotion about? As soon as Jerry opened the door, The force I used, crashing into the corridor, shoved him against the wall. "What the hell?" he snapped, until he figured out who was scrambling to close the door. "Oh, Mr. Masters, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you. What's going on out there?" "Oh, Jerry. Oh, Jerry." What's going on out there? What is going on out there, my friend? What are you talking about? Okay. What's going on out there? I'd no sooner closed and locked the door than the wild crowd had arrived, now pounding on the steel surface. Exhaling, I briefly closed my eyes. Was this what Saint had been forced to go through? Until recently, I'd been mostly a nobody, refusing to mention I put an ED on that shit. Fuck! I'd been mostly a nobody, refusing to mention I happened to be Saint's brother. Then someone had found out. Even then, I'd remained under the radar, never being photographed with the family or with him directly. I think I said that weird as fuck. We're gonna do it again. What's up, Soriel? Found out. Even then, I'd remained under the radar, never being photographed with the family or with him directly. As if I was ashamed of who I was. I was careless, Jerry. Fucking careless. Some people are afraid of the big bad wolf. I guess I'm nothing but a savage. Well, they shouldn't be. Fuck. But a savage. While they shouldn't be. The incidence of shifters partaking in any crimes, let alone killing and eating people, my fucking mouth said that so fucking weird. Shouldn't be. The incidence of shifters partaking in any crimes, let alone killing and eating people, were less than 3% of crimes committed. Yet, that didn't seem to matter. To some, we were nothing but ugly, heinous monsters. If you ask me, Mr. Masters, they're the savages. You've always been very nice to me. Pretty cool dude. Opening my eyes, I half laughed, trying to ignore the last, that's not the fucking word. Cool dude. Opening my eyes, I half laughed, trying to ignore the latest round of Cool dude. Opening my eyes, I half laughed, trying to ignore the latest round. Fuck. Hey, thank you for following. Welcome. Cool dude. Maybe I can read a sentence for you. Cool dude. To be determined. Cool dude. Opening my eyes, I half laughed, trying to ignore the latest round of enticements offered by some woman outside. If I'd wanted to be a well-kept man, I could have my choice, spending my days in a G-string and being soaked. Fuck. I'm gonna redo that whole sentence. Outside. What's up, Tammy? If I'd wanted to be a well-kept man, I could have my choice, spending my days in a G-string and being stroked like a cat. Who knew? Maybe that's how I'd retire. Thanks, Jerry. Means a lot today. I stood to my full height, smoothing down my jacket. Now, on my jacket. Now, if you don't mind doing me a favor. Sure thing. Can you get a security team to try and encourage my fans, haters, and members of the press to leave the premises? His grin was so bright, it was like I'd asked him to be my own personal bodyguard. Hell. What's up, Haley? Give me a second. Oh, Lord! Oofta. Personal bodyguard. Okay. Personal bodyguard. Hell, maybe that would need to come with time. It would be my honor to do so. Looking forward to the game on Saturday. You're my favorite player of all time. Well, thank you, Jerry. You're a pretty cool guy yourself. After shaking his hand, I moved through the bowels of the building toward the set of offices. Maybe I needed to stay away from parties for a little while. Yeah, but what fun in being a pseudo-celebrity would that be? Especially when Jello fighting was involved. I didn't say that right. Would that be? Especially when Jello fighting was involved. My thoughts drifted to the crap on the network. Someone must have tipped them off or pretended to be me. Why would anyone do that? Who was I kidding? The why was easy. There were some people eager to do what it took to wipe us off the face of the earth. I'd even heard enough through various circles that there were hunters banding together to try and flush shifters from the shadows. At least I could laugh. They'd be wasting their precious time since we looked, acted, smelled, ate, drank, and fucked just like any other regular old human. I like that. That was a cool line. Sup, Bonnie? Welcome. Old human. When my phone chirped again, I stopped walking, ready to bite the head off a bear. I almost answered with a growl before bothering to look. It wasn't every day that the supposed smoking gun was confessing to spending time with your famous brother hunting humans. Now, the network had been smart enough not to insinuate we'd tracked them down, capturing and carving them into delicate pieces for the grill, but human imaginations didn't need much fuel. The fire had already exploded, as if TNT had been added. It wouldn't be long until I'd need to get a story together. I had to talk to my family and figure out how to handle the horrible situation before it got completely out of hand. Besides, Jerry wouldn't always be around to save the day. Grinning, I tried to shake off the experience. The blip was just another notification. I could only imagine what Tyler would say about how my name was trending now. Fuck. Let me read that. Dear 3D printer, why have you paused? Why are you not moving? What are you doing? Shit. So it's supposed to be working. Oh, it is working. I'm just not doing it right. Weird. Okay, you gotta hit play sometimes. Not that Stevie B. Welcome and thank you for following. Trending now. Fuck. Okay, trending now. Off of trending now. I needed to talk to Saint, but he'd yet to return my calls. Did he actually believe our brotherly rivalry had pushed me into threatening not only his career, but also his life? Did people not get that death threats had been tossed out before? Hearing voices coming from behind the coach's closed door perpetuated. Hearing voices coming from behind the coach's closed door perpetuated the gnawing I'd felt in the pit of my stomach. Delaying heading into his office wasn't going to change the outcome. What was that? My stomach. Delaying heading into his office wasn't going to change the outcome. I could feel bad news in my bones. That was the way I was made. Maybe that's why when I heard my father's ringtone, I laughed bitterly. Speak of the devil. One of his many unearthly abilities was being a mind reader. I doubted it had. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. What's up, I love me? Welcome. Oh, what is my body doing? Is spring trying to sprung? I'm gonna burp, sneeze, and fucking whatever. You don't need to know my bodily actions. You'll see them. Okay. I doubted that it had anything to do with being a big alpha wolf and more about his honed instincts from being a father. Hey, Dad, how's business? I leaned against the concrete block wall, closing my eyes in some crazy hopes of blocking out the bullshit. Don't you dare how business with me, son. What the? Okay, my fucking computer's going insane right now. Shush, fans. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. The bullshit. Don't you dare how business with me, son. What the fuck did you say to the people at the Today Show? I didn't say a single thing to them, Pops. And why do you always assume I'm the bad guy? Call it experience. Let's not hide behind any pretense, son. We have a crisis to handle, and you know how I feel about this kind of shit. Nope, my dear old dad had never minced words. Barrett Masters suffered no fools, including among his children. He was too powerful, too influential, too fucking rich, and always right. Oh my god. I'm just gonna fucking be about to sneeze this entire narration. It's cool. It's my favorite thing. I love it so much. Plays right. Plays right. Which was the usual truth. My dad had an uncanny ability to know when people were lying. He could smell it on their breath. He'd been the single reason our pack had been protected for as long as it had. Why can't you and your brother just stay out of controversy? Seriously. Dad, I didn't talk to that damn reporter. No phone calls, no emails, nothing. They're simply trying to hype their program. Call it clickbait. He exhaled so many times, I was certain he was either going to hyperventilate or have a heart attack. Do you have any idea how many phone calls I've had over the last 2 hours? I knew this speech by heart. I dare say so did Saint. So I mimicked it when my father started to speak. I've had 52 phone calls in the last 2 hours. Hold on. It's mimicked, but I'm still gonna do it in Dad's voice. Started to speak. I've had 52 calls in the last 2 hours. 52! Reporters, investors, board members. Hell, your grandmother called and said she was— Fuck! I fucked it up. 52. Reporters, investors, board members. 52. Reporters, investors, board members. Hell, your grandmother called and she's way too busy with that new boyfriend of hers to stay in contact. How in the hell did you get yourself in the middle of this shit? Wow, my grandmother had a boyfriend. Now, that was new. Dad, I'm not guilty. Just like you know Saint isn't going to spill some shit about the gym and our pack. People are fishing, or someone opened their fat canine mouth. Canine mouth? What are you insinuating? That we have a mole out to get us? How else would reporters know about the park and our special gym? Of course the man was weighing whether or not I was telling the truth. You have a point, even if I don't like it. You're not lying to me? What point would there be in lying to you? We have too many enemies as it is. I'd like to actually have a career in the NHL, you know? You had better believe it. No, fuck. You know. You had better believe our son— Oh, fuck. Mike, there's a bird on my windowsill just losing his fucking mind right now. Oh, that's funny. You should do audiobooks? Yeah, right. I might have a knack for it. I should take it up in the future. You had better believe our son, Barrett. Or, fucking be angry, Dad. Oh. Center yourself, Sensei. You had better believe our son, Barrett. Or so help me God, you won't get any for a month. Oopsies. That's why it was hard. It's Mother's voice. You had better believe our son, Barrett, or so help me God, you won't get any for a month. Hearing my mother's stern voice in the background usually made me smile. Not in this case. I didn't need to hear details about their sex life. Not only was there an ick factor to it, but I could remember the last time I'd had, oh fucking Christ, their sex life. Not only was there an ick factor to it, but I couldn't remember the last time I'd had sex. For all the stories told about big, buff hockey players, all the romance books, and even with a new television series, it was all bullshit. Unless you were the top players. Sure, they could have any players. Sure, they could have any woman they wanted. Great. How many times in one day was I going to go down the road of feeling sorry for myself? I trust our son, sugar baby, my dad said in return, barely trying to disguise the lovey-dovey tone he'd always used with her. For all his gruff and tough way of handling everyone else, Mama Wolf had him wrapped around her little finger. Wait, don't take the phone. Hi, honey. Let me know if your dad causes any trouble. If so, I'll handle him. I'm fine, Mom. Really. All right. Here's your dad. You need to come home for... Oh, fucking Christ. Here's your dad. You need to come for dinner soon, son. I miss you. Miss you too, Mom. Yep. We were just one big happy family. A normal family. Dude, I'm going to go shoe this bird. It is just like 3 feet away from... It is like, okay, so I'm here. Take 5 paces this way, and he's right there, just screaming his brains out. I'm sure you can hear him. Happy family. Insane. A normal family. Happy family. A normal family. Would there ever be anything normal again? While I rubbed my aching eyes, the two of them finished a totally inappropriate conversation. Dad cleared his throat before issuing his final words on the subject. I don't think I need to tell you not to talk to reporters. That story just needs to die a miserable death. I know better, and I'm not heading to New York for the Today Show either. Good. I'll handle the bastards. I've already put in a call to our attorney. He'll ruin everyone touching this if necessary. Don't do that, Dad. This will blow over. There were other shifters in the news, including one hot lead singer from a rock band who continued to get himself in daily trouble. He'd even been caught by several photographers. Fuck! Trouble. He'd even been caught by several photographers when halfway between being human and wolf. Not a good look for anyone. That's the effect cocaine had on our fucking shit. For anyone. That's the effect cocaine had on the shifter population. He seemed surprised I was confronting him. Comforting him. He seemed surprised I was comforting him. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I'm finished with having your brother taken advantage of. What about me? I wanted to ask the question, but didn't. You too. But didn't. You too. Let me handle the situation. Well, we wait. We'll wait for a second. Situation. My father's voice remained gruff. At least he had the capability of making things disappear. Okay, Dad, I will. Have you talked with Saint? We're about to chat in a couple minutes, which is why I need to run. I smacked my head against the wall. Well, tell him to call me. As if I believed he would. I will, but you know how your brother is. Yeah, I do. All too well. My father wasn't one for formalities. My father wasn't one for formalities. My father wasn't one for formalities, hanging up without offering even a gruff goodbye. I stood with the phone held against my head, trying to control my breathing. Just before I turned to go down the hall toward the offices, I backtracked to one of the windows looking out over the parking lot. While security was actively doing their best to remove the fans and protesters, I could still read their signs. Werewolves are people too. Werewolves deserve a chance. Werewolves are sexy beasts. Kill the savages. And some were even more creative and brutal. A reminder that we weren't wanted here, even though we were just people trying to enjoy our lives. The signs were very colorful in shades of black, orange, and red, expressions of both love and hate. I leaned against the window. Fuck my life. There we go. We're moving through it today. Oh, golly. We'll try that again. Chapter 3. Stephen. Get your ass moving. The inner voice had no patience with my self-pity. Neither did I. Footsteps drew my attention a few seconds later. I don't think we have Brent in here. Hold on. Nope, this is a new coach. I knew it. Later. There you are. Assistant Coach Brent Scanlon. You are. Assistant Coach Brent Scanlon said. His stone... Fucking Christ. You are. Assistant Coach Brent Scanlon. Holy shit! We'll get through it. You are. Assistant Coach Brent Scanlon said. His tone strangely devoid of emotion. We thought you weren't coming. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Exhaling, I lifted my head. The fear in his eyes was more palpable than I'd seen before. These ridiculous stories were getting out of hand. He noticed I was standing near the window and joined me, shoving his hands into his pockets. His expression changed several times as he watched what was happening in the parking lot. While I'd always considered him a thoughtful man, I could tell he was struggling with whatever was on his mind. Dang. Ooh, stand by. His mind. You can say it, Coach. I fucked up. How many shifters are playing in sports? The question came out of the blue. I don't know. Hundreds, I would guess by now. Try less than 100 at this point. No. Try less than 100 at this point. And do you know why? Because we're hated. Coach Scanlon sighed. By some. People hate what they don't understand, and you have the ability to admit it's tough to comprehend how folks who look like you and me can suddenly and willfully shift into fucking... You and me don't understand. And you don't understand. And you have the ability don't understand. And you have the ability to fucking Chris. Don't understand. And you have the ability to admit it's tough to comprehend how folks who look like you and me can suddenly and willfully shift into a snarling beast. All they know are the horror stories read to them or told around campfires when they were kids, or watching American Werewolf in London, or any other werewolf movies depicting shifters and heinous murderers. Yeah, well, that's not who we are. I know that, Steve. A lot of people do. There are good and bad eggs in every group, no matter how or where you grew up. Yeah, but people do. There are good and bad, but people do. But people do. There are good and bad eggs in every group, no matter how or where you grew up, or if your parents were rich or poor, whether you're black or white, or little green men running around. But here's the thing. Shifters had the light shone on them because they chose to make themselves known in the world instead of living in the shadows any longer. That means shifters of every species need to prove themselves more than just about anyone else. It sucks, but that's the way to fucking shit. It sucks, but that's the way it is. That's just something for you to keep in the back of your mind. Whenever you're ready, we'll sit down and talk. Yes, sir. And try not to bite anyone's head off. He grinned as he backed away, his attempt at making a joke falling flat on me. Little did he or any other human truly understand the hardships we'd endured, both before and after our discovery. After a minute or so, all I wanted was to get the sermon over with so I could somehow figure out a way out of the mess. As I headed toward the office, I could hear the group already starting without me. I'd thought I'd grown pretty close to the men in the room, but I could tell by the uncertainty in their eyes and the way every muscles in fucking fuck in the room. But I could tell by the uncertainty in their eyes and the way every muscle in their bodies was tense that maybe what I'd believed to be friendship was really just people tolerating who I was for financial gain. What did you need to see me about, Coach? Might as well get the party started. The coach remained behind his desk as if it were a nice barrier to keep me from ripping out his throat. Whether to cure a beast's hunger or because of what he was about to say to me. Whether to cure a beast's hunger or because of what he was about to say to me. Fuck! Whether to cure a beast's hunger or because of what he was about to say to me. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. You're being traded, son. Just what I thought. To Tampa Bay. They have a place for you, my agent answered. Tampa Bay? They have a place for you, my agent answered. Gabe Andrews wasn't a bad sports agent. In fact, he'd sought me out as a client based on my brother's recommendation. It had been the single time Saint and I hadn't been at odds. The Tampa Bay Gators? My jaw was clenched, and I shifted my stare from the coach to the assistant coach, then to my agent. Yay! Then to my agent. All three had smug looks on their faces, as if they were harboring a secret among the three. You make it sound like you're being demoted. They're considered a hot up-and-coming NHL team. Coach Giovanni Ruffini was a take-no-shit kind of man. In fact, he reminded me a little of my father. Plus, Florida is nice this time of year. Leaning against the wall, I folded my arms across my chest. You're sulking. Gabe Andrews had been my agent for less than a year, hunting me down after my canine abilities had been discovered. Discovered with a B? With a fucking B? Good lord. Also, pause for a sec. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Perfection. And for less than a year, hunting me down after my canine abilities had been discovered. I'm not sulking. I'm simply thinking about my options. Tampa Bay had made a big splash during the past year. They were edgy with the young team and way too much testosterone. They were also on a losing streak, not expected to come up in the standings. Being caught dead playing with them would not be good for my career. Now I wondered how long it would be before someone mentioned the ridiculous interview on Friday. It was coming. I could tell the three men were literally bursting at the seams to say something. You'll be seen as a hero if you can help them turn the season around. The sky's the limit if you do. Oh my fucking God. Gabe was serious. Nah, I snorted. He lifted a single eyebrow, another infamous look that meant he was deadly serious. My entire body tensed. There are fewer shifters in Tampa Bay. That means there'll be big news, not what I want. Coach Ruffini held a hard glare. Not necessarily. They don't really understand how it's possible. It'll be your chance to blend in. Blend in. His words weren't of encouragement, but a full-scale push. What's the offer? 9? I grumbled out the questions with attitude. Not that I was a greedy son of a bitch, but after living like a pauper for a very long time, I was eager to make a few changes. If I was forced into a shitty trade like this, I might as well get everything I wanted. Once again, the three men silently conversed with each other. What's up, Sword and Thistle? I wanted. Once again, the three men silently conversed with each other. I'd walked into the three men who'd controlled my career, already in an animated conversation. That they'd abruptly stopped the moment I'd walked in. 600? Gabe was none too happy providing me with the contract number. I burst into laughter. I didn't know you were a comedian. Comedian? I'm not joking. His expression was dead serious. For 1 year? What happened to... Fucking Christ. Serious. For 1 year? What happened to the typical $1 million to start? I shrank back, my skin clammy. This wasn't possible. Unless you were being tossed to the bottom of the barrel, there was a financial protocol everyone followed. You need to prove yourself again. Oops, there's a pause there. Reload. You need to prove yourself. Again. Oops, fuck, that's the other fucking wrong voice that. Reload. You need to prove yourself. Again. Assistant Coach Scanlon. Again. Assistant Coach Scanlon had never been a fan, which meant today he was positively gloating. Which might take an act of God to do. I resisted lashing out. 3-year contract? While lower than I'd expected, the money was certainly much more than I'd made the last couple of years. Hell no. A 1-year contract to be renewed. Hell no. A 1-year contract to be renegotiated if all goes well. Gabe was matter of fact, which meant there'd been more conversations about the offer. Very difficult conversations. What the hell was going on? I tried to shove aside the crap from the Today Show. Whatever this deal was, it had been in the works for days, if not weeks, so the smoking gun had nothing to do with the decision. What other reason? Sure, I had a bad boy reputation, but I was nowhere near as bad as a few of the other I fucking added a whole word. Boy reputation. But I was nowhere near as bad as a few of the dudes in the league. This had to be about my status as a werewolf. The word grated on my nerves more than if I'd been called a serial killer. I wasn't a goddamn werewolf. I might as well toss everything out. There was no time like the present. Is the shitty term because I'm almost 24, that I'm a playboy, or because I'm a shifter? The 18 to 21-year-olds received the 3-year terms. In some coaches' minds, I was already an old man for the sport. However, I could tell by the smug look. Oh, fucking shit. Sport. However, I could tell by their smug looks that was the last of my problems. Just another wave of discrimination, right? I'm a shifter, so I'm an automatic danger to the team and the fans. God damn it! This isn't acceptable! I pounded my fist on the coach's desk to make a solid point. Gabe cringed as if I'd punched someone. They certainly knew the cause and effect of my bouts of anger. If the team was really using age as a factor in the short contract, that was all bullshit. I was in excellent shape. Bullshit. I was in excellent shape. The best of my life, and certainly a hell of a lot better than the other members of my team, and theirs too. Maybe I should start some additional rumors about my attributes. I was 9 feet tall. I could fly like Superman. I could leap tall buildings without breaking a sweat. And sex. Hold on a second. A sweat. And sex. Well, with 2 cocks, I could certainly go all night. Shifters had heard it all. The shitty contract is because you're a hothead with questionable ethics. Plus, you have anger management issues. Coach Ruffini kept his voice low. Let me redo that. The shitty contract? The shitty contract term is because you're a hothead with questionable ethics. Plus, you have anger management issues. Coach Ruffini kept his voice low, which was odd for him. He was the real hothead of the team, always yelling from the sidelines. I'd heard enough about my bouts of rage to last me a lifetime. Dear? Okay. I don't know why my camera is struggling to keep up on my 3D printer. I don't know. Last me a lifetime. Okay, anyways, onwards. Last me a lifetime. Wolves weren't supposed to be hot-blooded? I wanted to argue with him, but what was the point? Yes. I used manifested anger as a tool when it suited me. And let me guess, you're even happier with the possibility of me leaving with the news that broke this morning, right? I threw out the question, laughing as soon as I did. I could tell by their faces I was dead on. You do realize that crap is bullshit, right? Coach Ruffini suddenly moved from his desk, heading toward... Coach Ruffini suddenly moved from his desk, heading toward one of the windows in his office, the one overlooking the parking lot. He stood facing the glass with his hands in his pockets. Son, let's try this again. Son, we don't need the kind of publicity you bling pockets. Son, we don't need the kind of publicity you bring with you to the table. I'm not going to lie about that. But the decision is really in your best interest if you want to make it to the big leagues. Your time is running out. Well, there it was for me, as blunt as could be. My keen hearing could tell there was a commotion outside. I headed toward the window, sucking in my breath, when I peered down at the parking lot. There was the press, security unable to remove them. I was certain they threw out some crap about filing lawsuits. Both Gabe and the assistant coach seemed to be holding their breath. Wow. I didn't know whether I was angry, disappointed, sad, or just exhausted from trying to prove myself. It was one thing to be in Saint's shadow, but another to feel as if the entire weight of the shifter world— I was stumbling on that whole sentence. Trying to prove myself. It was one thing to be in Saint's shadow, but another to feel as if the entire weight of the shifter world was on my shoulders. I'd had enough, and before I did something stupid, it was time to get the hell away. I'll need to think about it. I started to walk out of the room. I started to walk out of the room. I'd hoped for another team, and holding out was definitely my— I'd hoped for another team, and holding out was definitely in my best interest. There'd been fucking Christ, one sentence at a time, huh? There'd been other recruiters sniffing around. They were always looking to augment their talent. We're not done yet, Steven. Give us the room, the coach told the others. With a deep exhale, I moved against the wall, remaining close to the door. Brent walked out almost immediately, but Gabe lingered, moving in front of me. You need to do this, Beast. As soon as he threw that in my face, I bristled. Fuck you. Fuck you. I whispered the two words, and by doing so, I could likely— oh my god, my computer's going ham. I am running a ton of shit right now, it's fine. 2 words, and by doing so— 2 words, and by doing so, I— fucking Christ. 2 words, and by doing so, I could likely kiss my career goodbye, but fuck him. Fuck all of them. I expected him to throw some kind of tantrum, but when he grinned, I had to laugh. That's the spirit, my man, he said. I'm going to work on a Beast campaign. We're going to carve this new interview into something special. More money, more clout. Hell, by the time I'm finished with you, your brother will be in the dust, and I'll be rich. Now he chose the moment to walk out. Greedy son of a bitch, I muttered. I was mouthier than usual today. Maybe I had reached the end of my rope. Yeah, he is, the coach agreed, even chuckling when he did. Yet the moment was awkward between us. I hated that it was obvious that the two men were eager to get rid of me, while the other was all about making money. Being a pawn or getting rich wasn't the reason I wanted to play hockey. It had never been. I was born to play the game. It was all I'd ever wanted to do my whole life. Why did it feel as if no one would ever look past the man-eating beast to the man inside? He returned behind his desk, sitting down. After fiddling with a group of papers, he leaned back, folding his arms behind his head. His fatherly stare meant a lecture was coming. Sit down, son. What happened with the game last night? I hadn't wanted or expected him to ask the question, at least right now. Reluctantly, I slid into the seat. Wait a minute. You think I sold my soul to that goddamn program, don't you? Well, I didn't. I would never do that to my brother. Never. His exhale was heavy. I didn't say a word about the show, son. Not a word. Stop jumping to conclusions. I harumphed, hating my lack of patience. My mind wasn't on the game. That's all. You sure about that? He eyed me carefully. What does that mean? I'm not in the habit of lying. That means you had eyes for one hot blonde sitting in the stands. Don't think I didn't notice, or that half the team in the local paper didn't either. Coach Ruffini preferred the papers. Oopsies. Coach Ruffini preferred paper versus computers, tossing the local paper across his desk, which had already been turned to the sports page. Fucking Christ. Which had already been turned to the sports. Holy shit. Which had already been turned to the sports page. I didn't need to pick it up to read the ridiculous headline. Has local shifter and hockey star Steven the Beast Savage found his lifelong mate? The photograph was of me peering up at her from the ice with both hands on my heart. Oh, Christ. This time, the growl I issued was ripe with anger. I was sick to death of the intrusive headlines. That was a damn joke. No wonder Gabe had been frothing at the mouth. Yeah, doesn't look like a joke to me. You were showing off for one thing. When I opened my mouth to reject what he told me, he shook his head. We're not going to discuss the Jell-O shots. I can't stomach it. We're not going to discuss the Jell-O shots. I can't stomach it. Just another distraction. When you were hired, you were quiet, content with doing what you needed to do and heading home. Then out of the blue, you started going to parties. I didn't see in the contract that I wasn't allowed. I thought his eyes would bug out of his head. Are you kidding me? You went from 0 to 180 in the blink of an eye. Your hunger for all things female off the charts. I mean, come on. His laugh was bitter. If only I had that much unused testosterone. Just a growing boy appreciating women. I wasn't hitting on all cylinders with my jokes at this point. I could tell by the way he was glaring at me. Clearing my throat, I looked away. That's happened a lot lately, Steven. What are you in? What are you? In heat or something? What? You know, that shifter thing you've got going on. Were you sniffing out your mate or just hungry for one? Is that why you can't concentrate? Huffing, I honestly had no idea what to say to him. Not that we'd had a long or pointed conversation about the physiology of being a shifter. That's not how it works. Oh, yeah? Then how does it work? I thought your kind made it for life. He drummed his fingers on his desk, eyeing me curiously. My kind. I'd always taken the reaction of humans when learning I was a shifter with a grain of salt. Yay! I figured, shit, hold on. With a grain of salt. I figured I owed them as a species since up to a year ago, they'd believed their only threat to beings ruling their world was with the possibility of little green men invading Earth. Whether or not he genuinely wanted to know the logistics, I wasn't certain. However, sir, not every shifter mates for life any longer. They can have more than one, but yes, There can be a chemical change when we discover the person who will eventually become our partner. There's a pull or electricity toward the person that's magnetic and irresistible. At that point, we become compelled to be around them. For me, my wolf would awaken and roar, feeling as if it was the first day of the rest of his life. There was a feeling of There's a feeling of uncontrollable desire, a need to protect, and an extreme possessiveness that will not be denied. However, as humanized as we'd become, the possibility of finding what was portrayed in romance novels as our fated mate was beyond being ridiculous. We chose someone we were attracted to and hoped he or she wouldn't kill us in our sleep. I noticed he stopped drumming his fingers, all 5 in midair, when he narrowed his eyes. Is that so? Yeah. Okay, voice, join me. Yeah, it's very intoxicating. Or so I've heard. Shit. Yeah, it's very intoxicating. Or so I've heard since I've never been through it. I'd never wanted to either. I had no idea where he was going with this. Wow. Shit. Wow, that's interesting. So you were playing a game with the girl. She was cute. I was flirting. So was she. End of the story. So maybe I wanted to get laid like half the rest of the team. So what? Except you lost the game because of the distraction. I dropped my head into my hands. Yeah, okay. I wasn't trying to, it just got a little out of hand. Are you trying to tell me my performance last night influenced the deal I was offered? Was I really distracted as of late? I hadn't thought so. He sat forward in his seat, staring at me without blinking. I'm trying to tell you that you should take the deal with Tampa Bay. Okay, why? You don't want to coach me any longer? His eyes trailed the paperwork as he slid it across his desk. What the fucking shit? Any longer? His eyes trailed the paperwork as he slid it across his desk toward me. When he looked at me again, I could tell he was doing his best to lose every aspect of any emotion. Not that he was a very emotional guy. Because I got word late last night from the owner that, Because I got word late last night from the owner that they're letting you go. The shock was immediate, my throat almost closing. This wasn't about anything but appearances. I knew how the game worked. I'd made a fool of the team, and the owners who'd made certain I'd known early on they were taking a chance on me. On the wolf. Well, fuck this. Wait a minute. I don't understand what you're saying. Who's letting me go? Letting me go. I'd rarely seen Coach Raffini have difficulty finding words. He usually grasped onto nasty ones when confronting what he called the stupidity of his players, or calls of referees regarding plays. This afternoon, he was finding them unattainable. When your contract runs out with the Philadelphia Ringers after this season, it won't be renewed. I know it's a tough break, but my dad always told me when one door closes, another opens. This is just... shit, I know. Life... Just... Shit, I know. Life is full of shit, son. Trust me. He studied me intently. Another piece of advice for you. Take this from someone who once had the same level of testosterone as you do. Get laid. Coughing, I was shocked to hear his recommendation. What? You heard me. Get laid and put the past behind you, including Philadelphia. Easier said than done. There were certainly girls who wouldn't mind tearing off my pants to see if I had two cocks, but Jesus, I didn't want to be nothing but a piece of meat. What kind of man would that make me? I didn't know what I'd been expecting, but to hear I'd been booted from the second-tier hockey team wasn't just a blow to my ego. It was a crushing strike that I'd never recover from. Unless... Unless... Did you orchestrate the deal with Tampa Bay? Let's just say I called in a few favors, son. You're a good player. Hell, you're amazing when you put your mind into the game. Hell, you're amazing when you put your mind to the game. One of the best I've ever seen. You deserve a chance, but you need to figure out a way to make peace with yourself. Given I don't know anything about werewolves, I can't help you there. What I do know is that this is your chance to show yourself and the world what you got. One-shot deal. If you can shove aside that big personality of yours and be the hero Tampa Bay needs, then you'll be considered the new golden boy. And if I don't? His laugh was full of bitterness. Then I guess you'll need to find a new career. After taking and holding a deep breath, I wanted to shout to the world one last time that I wasn't a goddamn werewolf. But that would just prove his point. I glared at the contract, furious that my entire career had come down to this. All because I'd pretended that a blonde... All because I'd pretended that a blonde whose name I didn't know and whose face I couldn't remember was my mate. Snatching the pen, I scribbled my name in all the appropriate places, double-checking that I had. Because once I walked out of this office, I was never coming back. Fuck them all. I was Beast Masters. Hear me roar. I like this book. This hockey series is the shit. Okay, we're calling it here. That's the end of that. I don't think there's anybody left in the chat, but